Welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we review Tales from the Hood. Welcome to hell, motherfuckers!
Co-written by Darren Scott, written and directed by Rusty Cundieff, starring Clarence Williams III, Joe Torry, DeAndre Bonds, and Samuel Monroe Jr. Tales from the Hood is an urban anthology that mixes horror with social issues in 4 short films with a rapper. With the sequel coming out, we decided to review this because we like this movie and we just want to talk about it. So this is probably going to be less of a review. Well, we'll talk about our likes and our dislikes, but we are going to elaborate on things, we are going to spoil things, and we're just going to talk about the movie in general. So what do we like?
This film has probably one of my favorite rappers, and just the whole concept of it. It takes place in a funeral home, and I like the idea that they're going coffin to coffin and hearing the stories of how these people died.
And our tour guide from Coffin to Coffin, Clarence Williams III, did an excellent job as Mr. Sims the Mortician. He is just so creepy and awesome and weird, and he likes to talk about the shit.
Kill that noise, man. Let's just get the shit.
Don't worry. You'll get the shit. You'll be knee deep in the shit.
Before we get into the short films, I do want to touch a little more on the rapper, and that is the twist in how this film finished. Seeing it in 1995 as a young 11-year-old boy, this film stuck with me, and I think that this film did a great job with tying everything together while leaving this OMG moment at the end.
I think that if you haven't seen this movie, then you would be caught off guard because you wouldn't expect that they're dead the whole time, but they are. The gangsters get their comeuppance trying to get the shit.
The shit? The shit.
The actual ending, I love the special effects. When our mortician turns into Satan, it's classic. It's cheesy, but it looks great.
Even talking about like the effects at the end, we can talk about, for example, the puppets that are done in the 3rd short. We have some stop motion puppet effects that are amazing.
This is probably my most favorite of the 4 shorts. It's the one that I was the most terrified, even to the point for like a good while, whenever I was gonna walk down the stairs, I would look down in case there was like a creepy doll trying to trip me.
Where the fuck did your little black ass come from?
Maybe we'll take a step back and we'll do everything in order. Let's not talk about all of the doll stuff yet. So talking about the 1st short, we have like the police brutality one. This one is about a politician who's trying to bust corrupt cops, and some corrupt cops catch wind and they're not having it, and so they kill this man and he comes back as a dope ass zombie, ripping dicks off,
ripping heads off on both ends. And you get a really sweet payoff. You get to see a really cool kill and a cool effect with like needles flying through the air, piercing him to like the wall, and then he becomes the painting. Like, the effects were very well done, especially for 1995.
A lot of the stuff that we would do now with CG, like, they didn't have those tools, so they had to improvise and they had to mix kind of green screen work and stop motion animation with practical effects and all this stuff to make something that looks legit. The 2nd short we have deals with domestic abuse, which is actually really cool as well, because this is a thing that happens all the time, where you have a child that might be being abused at home that isn't willing to admit what's happening, or he's afraid for some reason, and in this case, he's a monster, the boogeyman that he's afraid of. And this one, once again, has a really cool climax.
Also, the monster is played by David Alan Grier. It's nice seeing him out of the more comedic role.
Hello, I'm Blaine Edwards. And I'm Antoine Mayweather. And welcome to Men on Films.
So for him to step up and be this just abusive, intimidating father figure, and he was not holding back on his punches. Like, he really was a monster.
And while this movie is fairly lighthearted, there are scenes like this where you're just like taken back a little bit and you start to realize like, oh wait, like this actually does happen. And so that's what I think this movie does really well, is it mixes like the social aspects with the comedy, upbeat nature of like a cheesy horror film, but talks about important issues. And yeah, he was scary, but I'm glad that he got fucked up. And I don't know how he still held that frying pan after getting all fucked up like that, but it looked really cool, and it's just a neat concept that you don't really see that often. Moving on to the third short, which we've already kind of glossed over when we're talking about the puppets, it's the puppet one.
I put it into your nigga ass.
Where we have a racist politician who's living at the home where 100 slaves were killed, and now the souls have taken over these little dolls and are represented in a painting. They start to jump out of the painting and start to cause havoc.
I'll kill one of you. I'll kill you all. You little nigglings.
So once again, it's like lighthearted puppets killing, but these racial issues are things that I think a lot of people would be able to resonate with, puppets or not. And the fourth short is the most serious one of all. You have this guy who's been shot. He's trying to be rehabilitated in some underground lair where a white supremacist is convincing him that he's shooting black guys too, and he wants him to go and join his army of killing black guys.
What you in for?
Murder, punk. And I wouldn't mind doing this shit again.
He's put in a deprivation chamber. This is where it gets super serious when it shows not only the gang violence, but also like the real world, like KKK, and real footage of people getting killed. And it's super disturbing. And the way that it's just running through this quick montage, you take a step back, you kind of forget all of like the fun aspects of this film, and you're just thinking like, I can't believe this shit has been going on for centuries.
That shit wasn't funny.
Yeah, what you gonna do? Call the cops or some shit?
On top of that, this short has one of the stronger impacts. You're seeing all of the characters who he has killed. It shows how messed up people can really be, to the point where they have a chance to redeem themselves and feel sorry for what they've done, but they can't even admit to their mistakes.
Yep, this one was wild, and then had some other twists and turns at the end.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, so as a complete package, this movie is just dope. The production value is great. We have great practical effects, great acting, and just a lot of really cool segments.
And they do nail the horror aspect.
I guess that was an extended likes. Do we have dislikes? My only dislike would probably be the flickering in the fourth segment. They use a strobe effect in the deprivation chamber, and it kind of went on for too long. I understood why they were doing it, because it's way easier to kind of like hide and show the different victims, but the scene kind of lasted a little bit longer than it needed to, while flickering so much.
My dislike is it took 23 years to get a sequel.
Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. Tales from the Hood is one of those movies that I absolutely love. This is likely one of the most effective anthology films. It has like a perfect flow that explains why all of these shorts are kind of coming up, and it has a nice twist at the end. I really like Mr. Sims and all of our characters actually in this film. It was just really, really well written and well thought out. So I have to give this 5 Candyman looking murals out of 5.
Tales from the Hood is a film I will never forget. Revisiting it, it still holds up. The storytelling, the concept, the delivery, the characters, everything you see in this movie has a strong impact. I thought the acting was great, it has great practical effects, and it takes serious issues and has fun with it in the horror genre. This is a film a lot of people need to check out because there's not a lot of negatives towards this. They do a good job in their execution, and they make it entertaining while they're doing it. So I'm gonna give this film 5 scared ass bitches out of 5.
Welcome to hell!
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, I highly recommend the Scream Factory release. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything Bloodbath and beyond.